Huyang made a memorable appearance in 3 episodes of the Clone Wars Season 5, a Mark IV architect droid professor based aboard the Jedi vessel the Crucible. For thousands of generations, Huyang taught Jedi younglings and Padawans including Grandmaster Yoda and Jedi Master Mace Windu. He's been mentioned across various canon novels, and recently also appeared in the High Republic. I wouldn't be surprised if he also features in future Star Wars films, including the one helmed by James Mangold about the origins of the Jedi Order. Huyang has seen it all, and he's an expert of Jedi history, the code of the Order, and the traditional forms of lightsaber combat. He also taught the classic Tales of the Jedi Order through what is known as the History of the Galaxy Parts 1, 2, and 3. That's the one that begins, as the Star Wars movies do, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Huyang's exact origins are shrouded in mystery, prompting younglings across generations to spread rumors about how he came about, why he began serving the Jedi Order in the first place. According to the novel Brotherhood, in 22 BBY, shortly after the beginning of the Clone Wars, a rumor was spread that originally Huyang arrived at the Jedi Temple in a large blue box. This is a meta-reference to the TARDIS, because David Tennant, the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, is the one who voices the character. But regardless of how he came about, Huyang's purpose was crucial: to accompany the young trainees on the planet Ilum, where once they had retrieved their kyber crystal, he would aid them in fashioning their own lightsaber and crafting it after various aspects of their personalities, fighting styles, and cultures. When he reappears later in the timeline during the Ahsoka show, during the Age of the New Republic, it confirmed to fans Huyang survived the Great Jedi Purge of Order 66, and eventually found his way into the hands of Ahsoka Tano. Even though he himself is a droid and not a Jedi, given his extensive knowledge and proximity to them during the prequel era, it's almost miraculous he managed to survive. So, how did he do so? In 19 BBY, the Clone Wars were brought to an end, and with it came the destruction of the Jedi Order, Anakin turning to the dark side, and reforming the Republic into a galactic empire, and of course the man behind it, the Supreme Chancellor Sheev Palpatine, who was the secret Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, all along. Huyang managed to survive the Purge, and at some point joined Ahsoka Tano, who was training Mandalorian and Ghost Crew member Sabine Wren. The first time she trained her is a story we'd love to see in Tales of the Jedi Season 2. But in the wake of the Purge, Huyang's location has been unknown, but there is a hint in the sourcebook, Forces and Destiny's Savage Spirits, which reveals there was a branch of Jedi known as the Jedi Exploration Corps, also known as the Explore Corps. These focused on exploration and archaeological research in the Outer Rim. Because they operated so far away from Coruscant and the Jedi Temple, many were not aware of Order 66, or the end of the Clone Wars, and when word got out, many stayed away, thereby escaping the Jedi Purge. Despite this, many were still hunted down and killed by the Empire, but according to this sourcebook, at least one of the larger vessels survived, including a couple of Jedi, and possibly a droid architect with them. This may have been Huyang. If they decide at some stage, be it in the Bad Batch Season 3, Tales of the Jedi Season 2, or elsewhere, how Huyang survived Order 66, it's entirely possible and plausible he was on this vessel. It's a pretty easy tie-in way to explain how he survived, how he made it out of the Clone Wars alive. Or should I say, at least not reprogrammed for Imperial purposes. If Huyang was with the Explore Corps, at some stage, he and Ahsoka could have run into more Jedi who survived the Purge. After all, he likely wasn't the ship's only survivor. Unless at some stage, Huyang took an escape pod or small ship to go off on his own, Ahsoka may have been the one to come across the vessel and met those on board. Maybe the survivors went into hiding, or joined the Rebel Alliance. Either way, at some point in the future I hope Dave Filoni answers this question. The Jedi Exploration Corps had a very different purpose during the Clone Wars. They were often very detached from the goings-on and the politics of the rest of the Order, overseen by the Council of Reassignment. Originally founded to survey and chart the myriad stars and planets in the galaxy, the Exploration Corps was made up of Jedi Seekers who used their skills in navigation, surveying, and survival to achieve this goal. Apart from the episodes he appears in, we don't know much about other missions Huyang went on during this time. Especially near the end of the war, the Explore Corps needed someone like Huyang, who was instrumental in the discovery of many of the galaxy's ancient, forgotten secrets, many of these pertaining to the ancient ways of the Jedi. In the case of Huyang, it may have been a right place, right time scenario. There is another sourcebook called Rise of the Separatists, which contains some of our most solid canon information about this group. The members existed outside of the normal class and rank structure because they were not based in a temple or out of an academy. Aboard their larger vessels, artifacts were analysed, data interpreted, and ancient text translated. It's not too far-fetched to assume at some stage Huyang helped with these missions. I can't wait to see more of him. He shined in the Ahsoka show. It was honestly one of the most surprising, yet well-worked-in aspects of the Clone Wars that made a live-action debut. 11 years ago, in an interview with IGN, Clone Wars and Ahsoka creator Dave Filoni spoke of how he went about tracking Tennant specifically for the part, and despite his brief appearances in Season 5, Filoni always wanted to bring him back, which he did in 2023. He spoke about how extremely impressed he was with the actor's talent and abilities in Doctor Who. Filoni elaborated on the steadfast desire to cast only the Scottish star and absolutely no one else for the role. That role was created for David Tennant, and he nailed it. He's an absolute gem of a guy. I had the privilege of meeting him back in 2017. The character was created for one specific purpose, that fulfilled a request by George Lucas. When Dave and George were mapping out the Clone Wars, they realized there needs to be a character who intervenes early on in a Jedi's life to help them build their lightsabers. They didn't want this to fall to Jedi Masters, because they thought the major problem with this would be the stakes of that arc. Dave Filoni admitted a month ago, Huyang was created to solve this problem, a droid to handle the lightsaber building without overshadowing characters like Ahsoka when the moment came. And it was the writer of that Season 5 Young Jedi arc, Christian Taylor, who came up with the concept of Huyang. Though initially they didn't love the idea, and went back and forth debating should they do this, they ultimately saw the benefit of a smart, quirky professor droid voiced by David Tennant to be included in the beloved 3D animated show. He survived Order 66, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for his future. As I say, he could technically appear in any of the upcoming movies and shows, the ones that revolve around the Jedi, Rey's movie, James Mangold's movie, and now that Ahsoka Season 2 is confirmed, we're no doubt going to see him stuck on Peridea with Ahsoka and Sabine in that show. But share your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. What do you think? And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.